Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another walk around. This time I'm joined by, I'm very happy to say, the brand new Hyundai i30N. As always, I will take you around the car, talk you through the specification and give you my first impressions. Now I am a little bit under the weather, I do have some kind of cold, I'm a bit bunged up, so I may be a bit mumbly. I can only apologise in advance. But anyway, you don't want to hear about my cold or my sniffles. You are here because you want to see this bad boy, and this is a real bad boy. It's so fast. Yeah, it's just asking to have your license taken away because it's that fast. So this is the facelifted version. So you have a front end which is sharper, a bit more focused. It looks really smart, and I really like this white paintwork as well. Of course, you think of an i30N and you think of the Performance Blue, but I actually prefer, well, I don't prefer, but I really like this white because you have the black detailing and the gunmetal alloys. It just really helps give a nice contrast. Now, speaking of the alloys, you get 19 inches for the N Performance, like you did on the old car, but for the facelift, they are actually, in total, 14.4 kilograms lighter because they are now forged, and they look fantastic, don't they? Also, the front brake discs are now larger compared to the pre-facelift. They've gone from 345 millimeters to 360, so you have more stopping power. At the back, the rear lights are also a little bit different as well, but of course the big cheeky double exhaust pipes are very much here to stay, as well as a little diffuser as well. Now, normally at this point I would go into the interior, but with this being a hot hatch, it is all about performance. Let me talk you through the engine instead. Like the previous car, this is powered by a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol, but it has more power. So this car offers 280 horsepower, whereas the old car offered 275. Okay, I know the difference is marginal, but more is more. And this has 393 Newton meters of torque, which is 39 more than previously. Now, if you prefer that in pound-feet, I will of course drop a subtitle below. In regard to 0 to 62, that's one thing I haven't mentioned. So this car has got the new 8-speed DCT. Now, don't worry, you can have this as a manual if you prefer, but the DCT is faster. Let me just actually pop the bonnet strut up. There we go. So yes, I have the DCT, meaning I'll hit 62 miles per hour in just 5.4 seconds, although the manual is faster compared to the pre-facelift. That will now do it in 5.9. And the top speed is limited to 155 miles per hour, but to be fair, top speed is kind of irrelevant anyway. In regards to fuel economy, I must confess I don't have those stats to hand because it's a hot hatch. I'm sure you're not too concerned about fuel economy, but I will drop it in as a subtitle. I think on a combined run, this is around 33 miles to the gallon. Now, interestingly, for this week, I've been averaging about 19 miles to the gallon. Yes, I have driven the car quite hard, but even so, I would expect a better return than 19 grams 19 mpg. I'm thinking of CO2 emissions. I was about to say grams per kilometre. In regard to the CO2 emissions, I will drop them in as a caption below. Needless to say, this is a very quick car, and it sounds fantastic as well. I will dub in a clip where you can hear the car revving. Let me speak about prices. This is the N Performance, so it has more power, more performance. To my knowledge, the lower version isn't available in the UK just because it wasn't really as popular, because why not just go for the big boy version as opposed to the less powerful version. So if you go for the DCT like I have here, this has a price of £35,995. Now if you go for the manual version, I think you're saving, roughly speaking, about £1,500. I will again drop that down as a caption. You get loads of standard, so I've got LED lights front and rear, keyless entry, front and rear parking sensors, reversing camera, the 19-inch alloys, the N styling of course. If I take you inside, you'll see you have chunky sport seats as standard, although the shadow is ruining my shot somewhat. These are electronically adjustable with memory functions as well. Now for the facelift, there is the option of the N-Lite sport seats. So they do have a weight saving of 2.2 kilograms and they are a bit more race orientated. I don't have that in this car. These are the standard seats, which are absolutely fine. I've got no complaints there. Let me step inside the car, take off my little tripod. The lighting will be a bit iffy, so I can only apologise for that. Turn on the ignition, got the start stop button there. Interestingly, you have analog dials, which in this day and age does feel a little bit old hat. Speaking of which, look at this, look, I have a proper manual handbrake. Who would have thought in 2022 I'd have a car with this much kit but no electric parking brake? Now this isn't a criticism, I actually prefer a manual handbrake, but just thought I'd point it out. The one thing I will say is it does feel a bit cheap and a bit nasty, but anyway. So you do get a digital display in the middle, but as you can see, I have old school analog dials either side. I've got a large touchscreen, which is far from old school. I've got DAB radio, Bluetooth, smartphone connectivity, and navigation. If I just pop it into reverse, you'll see the reversing camera and front and rear parking sensors. Pop it back into park. I've got dual zone climate control, which you may be able to hear in the background. In fact, I will turn that off because I don't really need it on. So yes, this car's got plenty of kit. I've got heated front seats, heated steering wheel. I've got the wireless phone charging pad as standard. So this car does come with a lot of kit. Very impressive. Now I've got 5 driving modes at my disposal, which Hyundai calls the N-Grin control system, which just sounds terribly gimmicky. But you've got 2 buttons, one either side. So this one, which says drive mode, hit it, and you've got normal, sport or eco. Now you have this button on the right hand side with a checkered flag on it. Hit that and you get 2 other modes. You get N, which dials everything up to the maximum, and you get N custom. Now I would thoroughly recommend using N custom, because when you have the car in the standard N mode, the ride is terribly jiggly and it is unbelievably firm. So what you actually want to do is put it into custom, go into the N mode here, custom, and have everything set to shouty race mode, apart from the suspension, which you want to have set to normal. Now you're more than welcome to dial it up to Sports Plus, but if you value your spine and your comfort, you'll want to dial it down. So that is a top tip right there. Of course, you have flappy paddles on the steering wheel. The 8-speed automatic works very well indeed. Well, I say automatic, it's a semi-automatic, isn't it, if I'm going to be pedantic. So yes, top tip, use N custom, everything to the maximum apart from the suspension. Let's just take you back home. Let me touch upon practicality. The door bins are of a good size. I can fit in this 750 milliliter bottle, and in fact, to be fair, I could even squeeze in a second bottle, and dare I say, a third bottle. Look at that, practicality for days. Very, very impressive. Of course, in the middle, I have 2 cup holders. The wireless phone charging pad I've already mentioned. Speaking of charging, I've got a USB port in the middle, and not 1 but 2 12-volt sockets. There's storage underneath the centre armrest where I've got my portable charger in there, and the glove box is of a decent size as well. I've got my sound meter in there, as well as my lunch. Getting a good driving setup is very easy. The steering wheel has loads of adjustment, and as I may have mentioned, my driver's seat is electronically adjustable, as is the passenger seat, so that's pretty good. Anything else to go through in the front? The only thing I will say about the cabin is it lacks inspiration. It's not the most aspiring place to be. Now, I get that Hyundai has arguably spent its money in the best place, i.e. the mechanicals, but the interior is quite drab. There's no like design for design's sake here, no flair, no styling. It's just a bit, yeah, just a bit bland. It doesn't feel cheap in here, it just feels a little bit gloomy, a little bit sobering. Now thankfully you do have the N steering wheel with blue stitching to help jazz things up, and a bit of blue stitching here as well. And of course you have these very nice sports seats as well. But other than that, sorry, the shadow is really annoying. That's better. Yeah, you got these nice sports seats, but apart from that, the interior is a bit yawn-inducing. The same cannot be said for the performance though, thankfully. Oh, let me turn the ignition off. Yes, I know. That's moaning because the door's open. Hyundais and Kias, they do love to bong and make various noises. So, onto the rear. As always, the driver's seat has been set for me. I'm 6'2", so I am, of course, a taller chap. Let me step in like so. The space back here isn't too bad, actually. So if I close the door, I've got a decent amount of knee room. Not loads, but enough to be getting on with. And if I bring you down here to show you the leg room, you'll see leg room isn't too bad either. Headroom, again, isn't too bad. You can't really see it too well because I've got dark hair and you've got dark roof lining and the lighting is awful. But yeah, I've got 1 or 2 centimetres spare. Now, if you go for the Fastback model, which is still available for the facelift, just bear in mind, because of the swooping roofline, you will lose headroom. So I do need to just wipe my nose. Not very dignified, but it was running like a sprinter. In regard to practicality in the back, you've got decent sized door bins once more, so you can easily fit in bottles in there. Map pockets. Annoyingly, you don't get any kind of storage or USB ports or 12-volt sockets, which frankly Hyundai is disappointing. I had the Kona N line a few weeks back, and that had a USB port in the back, and that was a cheaper car. So yeah, I don't understand why the i30N hasn't got that. Is a little bit disappointing. You do have a hook either side, so you can hang up an item of clothing. You do get a centre armrest with 2 cup holders. Of course, if you're more concerned about carrying children, you've got the almost obligatory ISOFIX points as well. Fitting 2 adults in the back, fine. 3 adults would be a squeeze though, but this is, although it's a medium-sized hatchback, it is still quite a small car. The transmission tunnel running down the middle isn't too bad though, so could be worse. Onto the boot. Now, if you go for the M Performance, you do get a strut brace at the rear. It's just bring the boot's capacity down a little bit, but not by too much. Now, as always, the boot is filled with my filming crap, but we'll cut to a clip where you can actually see what's in the boot, and you can get a better idea of space. So normally, without this bar running across the back, I think the boot space is around 390, 395 litres. With this brace, it drops it down to 381, which is still pretty competitive in my opinion. If you do want a hot hatch with a big boot, then of course you'll want to have a look at the Skoda Octavia VRS. However, if you need more space in this car, you can of course fold down the 60/40 rear seats to give you more space, and I will drop that capacity down as a caption. You do have a 12-volt socket in the rear as well as a hook either side, so you can hang up shopping bags like this, for example, which I should have done today, but just didn't. But yeah, you get the idea. A bit of a faff with just the one hand. And there we go. There is the boot. Give you another walk around this car. Yeah, what a car this is. A really good car. There will of course be a full review coming, hopefully a point of view review coming. I'm also doing a twin test with fellow YouTuber Pocket Rockets. More to come on that at a later date, but yes, I'm not going to tell you which car we are competing against right now, or what car he has that I'm testing the car against. But yes, that will come at some point in the near future. If you have any questions or queries about the car, anything you want to, well, I would say anything you want to see with it, but by the time you see this video, this car would have gone back to Hyundai UK. But if you do have any questions, drop them in the comment section below, and I will answer you as quickly as I can and to the best of my ability. Right, there we go. That's actually a relatively quick walk around by my standards. It feels like I've missed something. Gone through the price check, performance check, fuel economy, not so much, but that'll be subtitled, features, yep. So yeah, if I have missed anything off, because it feels like I have, if I'm going to be honest, like I say, I'm a bit under the weather, I'm not quite thinking straight. But yeah, if there's anything you want to know about this car, please do get in touch. Anyway, I think it is time for me to finish, so I can go and blow my nose somewhere. Yes, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you have enjoyed it or found it useful. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.